All right, we got the main problem with esports improvement and my proposed solution from your boy Bardos. All right, so what is going on with the esports improvements?
Today I want to talk about a serious topic. I'm not reviewing anything, I'm not playing any games, and I'm not gonna
Bro, are you conducting like an experiment back here? Holy, like, what is this? Dang.
be over editing this video at all. This video isn't for the masses, it's kind of like for you guys who know.
The niche of a niche of a niche that is FPS tournament people, I guess. On M and K, obviously.
What I usually talk about. Basically, I've mentioned this many times and I have another video on a similar topic, but I think there's a major issue going on.
Oh,
It was already there 5 years ago when I started getting into this FPS improvement community, and it's definitely still there to this date.
well, what is it? What's the
The
issue?
issue is that we're all looking for answers, and the answers are usually provided based on the wrong reasons. Usually, they
Everyone's looking for answers. Answers are provided for the wrong reasons. Wait, let me hear it again.
and the answers are usually provided based on the wrong reasons.
Based on the wrong reasons. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, now I got the frame.
Usually, the people that have the answers have them, or at least they think they do, and especially others think they do,
Okay.
because of their authority. And when I say authority, it's kind of a hard to define concept, but I mean that these people, for some reason, let's say in the aim training world, these people have high benchmark scores, or they stream and have a large following, or maybe they're pro players, or maybe they're just very loud, which is also sometimes a problem because
Yeah.
it works. But
Yeah. I think this thing also goes on in what do you call it? Like the fitness slash like bodybuilding community too. You know, you could see this like at your local gym probably of like maybe someone is like kind of new to going into the gym and they're kind of afraid to uh ask around and just talk to people in general. So you're looking around and all of a sudden you could see like a big guy, like big muscular dude. It looks like, he like competes or something like that. And it would stand to reason that because he looks like that, he probably has the answers. Well, that's not always the case. um, and it's hard to say because it's like because like you're using your eyes, you're using objective eyeballs, eyes, like it's that there. He looks like that. It's like, oh, he looks like that. I kind of want to look like that, maybe a little bit. Maybe he can give me some like tips and pointers and concepts to like work on. It's like, well, maybe, um, depending on the advice that that person gives. But the advice that that person gives is going to be tailored around their body for like fitness. Much the same way that like if you get some like aim advice from someone, that's probably going to be based on their own anecdotal experience. I mean, everybody has different like, let's be objective. Everyone has different equipment. Everyone has different mice, everyone different mouse pad, different refresh rate monitor, different arm lengths. They sit, their own way. I mean, how many times have you seen like some doofy people playing like CS or Val, and they're all like up in there, like on top of their shit with like their arms are like you see like the layer people. It's like the keyboard's like vertical, and it's like they're playing like that shit, and the mouse is like, you know. So it's all contextual.
for these reasons, which are really not valid reasons to think someone has the answers, they're still believed to have answers.
Yeah.
And the questions are many. We have questions about peripherals. What's the best mouse pad? What's the best mouse? What's the best grip? The sensitivity, the monitor.
What's the best this? What's the best that? I mean, obviously, you could kind of say that there is a trend. Obviously, if you have a lot of money, It definitely helps to have like a high refresh rate monitor. It helps to have a super powerful PC in like certain settings and have like a pretty light mouse. It helps to have, well, maybe not even like a light mouse. It helps to have a mouse that fits you. It helps to have a comfortable mouse pad, regardless of the friction. I mean, obviously, money helps that, but also everybody doesn't have like hundreds of dollars to waste on the best peripherals or whatever, to have the fastest internet, be in an AC room or something, whatever it is.
The collection of these things together, the aiming style, all of these things probably have statistical answers.
Mm-hmm.
They probably do have one best thing for scenario X that will work on average for most people.
Most people, yeah.
But the moment you start saying these things, you're already kind of framing it as something that can be measured. And the thing is, I think it can, but I think no one is doing any measurement, or at least not.
Probably because the amount of effort that that takes is like a lot more than just being like a general aim coach. Like a general aim coach is like good enough for like most people. Anything more than that, and it's just like the effort will turn into something exponential and no longer be linear. Um, this graph. Let me see. What are my lines? Where a brush. What do they do with the shapes? Oh, they're right there. Okay. Bop, bop, bop. Parabola, right? The general aim coach is like you can go from there to there, bang, easy, plus one, plus one, plus one, plus one, and that's fine. Not the end of the world, but to be like a super specialized type of aim coach, the amount of effort probably turns into something like this. Where it probably takes exponential more effort to do that stuff, and like it's possible. It's not impossible, but like who's out there that can do that? No, I don't want to say my changes. Get the
In a way that is scientific. When I say scientific, I mean that when you're looking for answers like this, you need to set some control. You need to use the scientific method.
mm-hmm.
Academia nowadays. I started a PhD. I quit it
Oh,
1 year before the end. I just didn't like the world of academia. I didn't particularly like what I was working on
oh,
and
okay.
the environment. But I do like science, and that doing that PhD kind of gave me at least a glimpse of what the scientific method really is in a modern way. When we're talking about papers, peer-reviewed papers, randomized, control, double blind, all of that. The way that we do science is to try something, have an idea, have a hypothesis, and then you set up an experiment and you try to minimize variables so that you don't find just correlations, but hopefully you have enough data that you might start assuming there's an actual, causation in whatever phenomenon you're trying to prove
Right.
or disprove.
I want to find the root cause to my shaky aim, or why I always overflick and can't underflick.
And then you publish your work so that other people can review it and make sure that you didn't have some methodological issue or just misinterpret the data
Mm-hmm.
or something similar. Or maybe you
Yeah.
made the facts up.
I mean, because everyone knows that one saying about lies. There's three kinds of lies. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics.
It's very important. The peer review part of this is very important.
Yes.
So when you just go to your favorite loud voice or
Mm-hmm.
content creator, it's not just loud people.
Oh no, you're right. The favorite content creator is also simultaneously the loud voice. All right. Nobody's favorite content creator is the soft voice.
There's not always, a malicious intent I also try to give a lot of opinions that to a lot of people might sound as facts, even though that's just what they are. They're my opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not always a malicious intent, but still the end result to me is the same. You will take an opinion and you will start thinking that it's an answer to a question, the best mouse pad for X, and you will probably start repeating it somewhere else. And some of the people that hear opinion X become what I've mentioned in a different video. They become tribal about it. They become,
Oh yeah, the tribalism about this thing is the best, and anyone that says anything otherwise is stupid and wrong. I mean, but didn't the entire AIM community also uh rally against Shroud whenever he started talking that shit of I only use the Logitech with the stock skates on top of a Logitech mouse pad, because how they do it scientifically is that they figure out the most zero friction for this skates and this mouse. And yeah, I remember that when Shroud said that dumb shit. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you don't ever use what is it, like third party skates? Yeah, only use stock skates. Yeah, anything else is just absolute blasphemy. So, as objective as we would like to be, it's like, yeah, everyone still has their own biases.
almost religious. It becomes a faith where the answer, or what they believe to be the answer, but really just the opinion that they're just repeating from some other loud voice they heard, becomes a faith for them, so that they have to defend it very often in very aggressive ways. I think this is holding us back. When I say us, I mean we, the people that care about FPS improvement, improving at FPS games,
The AIM
or
bros.
TPS games, shooter games, which might sound like a trivial thing, but
Yeah, but like you could say that thing about any other competitive thing. You could say that about pool, darts, swimming, football, baseball, basketball, golf, horseshoes, bocce ball. Pick your favorite sport: volleyball, softball, whatever else, curling. You know, that like Canadian bullshit with the pot. Gymnastics, track and field. It 100% gets like super nerdy when you like go down to it. You know, I saw like a video of like on Twitter where it was like this dude. I think he was playing like CS or Val. I don't know. And he's like adjusting his desk. He had his own like little measure tape. And he's like, okay, put it at this height. He adjusts the chair, and then he's like messing with the screen, puts it up that way, and then he gets like a spray bottle. I thought it was kind of funny with the spray bottle, but it's like, I guess I get it, because who knows who's like sitting behind the monitor spitting on that shit. And then he sprays the stuff and he's like wiping the screen down. He's like getting everything perfect and whatnot. But I think everyone was like making fun of him for it. But it's like, bro, if you were to put that level of scrutiny on your favorite athlete in real sports, all your favorite athletes do the same thing. You just don't get to see it like you can for video games. It's hilarious. All right. Don't forget that in football, and I think it's college, not so much NFL, there is a guy that gets paid hundreds of dollars to put mud and sand on footballs and to like rough it up. There's a guy that makes bank putting mud on footballs. So don't forget that. That's the level of retarded gatekeep bullshit that I see. So no, you don't get to do that just because like PC Counter-Strike bro does it. Football dum-dums do that shit too.
we humans need competition. And I mean, that's why this isn't even a niche, really. When I say us, I'm talking about so many people. I mean, there's whole serious businesses, multi-billion dollar market involvement, that it's not a niche. This is a serious thing, because if enough humans care enough about a specific thing, then other humans should probably pay attention. And I think the reason is simple. We want competition, and playing video games, competitive shooters, is a great way to scratch that itch for competition in a healthy, controlled way. So it's a serious thing. And when you're trying to compete, you always want to be your very best. You want to see what skill expression you have in you, how far you can get. And that's why we're here, right? That's something that I've made a mission of mine for a long time, so much so that I decided to work at AIM Labs because I was hoping to find some answers. And I think given the incredible opportunity I was given to also at some point of the many jobs that I've done in AIM Labs, I was also doing R&D, and they gave me a massive chance to get a really good look at a lot of interesting data that helped me form some maybe little pieces of answers, or maybe just more questions, but more directed questions. And I think this directed is a key component of this whole ordeal. Because I think if we want to get to a point where eventually we do have answers,
Yeah.
we need to do science. And to do science, we need direction. We need.
Yeah, because every other competitive venture does science. They all do it in strength and conditioning and practice. You don't think science backs any of that stuff up? Of course it does. It's just video games get a bad rap because it's like, oh, they're catered towards kids and all this other shit, and you know, violent video games create violent individuals. Be ready for that when GTA 6 comes out, right? Yeah, they just don't get to see it in all of their other real life sports because the science is already there and it's not glamorized. Like science really isn't like glamorized because it's not like flashy, attention getty.
Some way to decide what we're testing for, and we need to set up the experiment. We need to control as many variables as we can. We need to involve as many people as we can with as little bias as we can, which is a very hard thing to do, especially if you try starting from a niche within a niche. Like the aim training community will have some obvious biases that maybe aren't actually true of humans, but they're true of the selectively biased sample of aim training enthusiasts or people that are interested in aim training. But it's still a start. We don't have any of that.
Yeah.
And we can do it. Like the same people that are looking for the answers can, with a directed question, find the answer. And that's not following the latest tech or content creator or the latest top one in whatever benchmark, and they are saying something. You know, I am credited with the invention of the BART pill.
Yeah.
Obviously, which is really nothing crazy. I don't think I said anything particularly smart. And the reason why it's named and people still mention it to this day is because I was number one. It wasn't because of any particular insight in the technique or because it was just groundbreaking, smart. No, it's pretty obvious. The video where I explain it isn't particularly well made or groundbreaking, and the tweet is kind of very basic. So why did it go viral? Why do people still mention it? Because I was number one. So that means that it became kind of like an answer because of the authority that I had, not because we tested it at scale, which is a problem.
So what, would it have more validation if there would be a more objective way to measure how many people use like the BARD pill to get like their tippy top scores? I mean, maybe.
So where am I trying to get here? I think that if we work together as a community, as many people as we can, if we try to be proper and open in the way we run these experiments, I think we can find the answers ourselves. No one else is going to do it for us. We need to do it. This requires a shift in thinking. We need to really start believing that we are trying to figure out some underlying truth that exists in this collection of very noisy human-related data. And we need to decide that we won't take authority as an argument for why you should believe something, but we're trying to do science. Now, this is hopefully something that all of you who are watching are interested in. I definitely am. I've been trying to find these answers for so long at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm still, even like I'm a very casual aim bro now. Like I just like do like less than 10 rounds of fucking control sphere for a little bit, and then like once I feel I'm like good enough, I'm like, okay, just pop on the finals and just mess around. Like I was not as serious. I'm not like serious now as I was back then. Like actually pushing and seeing improvements, and I was just like, when I was not too long ago, I was like, Bob, I got another diamond score. Oh my god, I was so retarded.
A very, very high part of like high percentage of my life because I started playing competitively and getting obsessed about mice and mouse pads and sensitivity when I was 13 or 12, and I'm 31 now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a long time.
Mm.
And I think this might be what I've really been trying to do for the past 5 years at least. So where do I want to go from here? Basically, I think because of my experience with computer science, doing R&D at AIM Labs, I can at least help start this process. But it needs to be a community-driven process. We need to come together with a question. We need to define the experiment, and then we all need to be proper
Mm-hmm.
and try to become subjects of the experiment. I've run this type of experiment before with like friends recently, and I'll probably post a video about it because I've compiled everything. I got one of my friends, Italian friend, Grandmaster in Voltaic.
Ooh.
I've mentioned him before. He has insane aim, but he's also of the super small mouse, very fast pad type of niche, like where
Yeah.
we're all convinced that that will give you the highest ceiling in aim. I bought him a GPX2, a Logitech GPX Superlight 2, and a QCK Plus, 20 euro version. We play CS basically every day, and for a week I was like, please do not change anything, do not change your sensitivity. Play with a QCK Plus instead of your Hayate Otsu, and play with a GPX Superlight 2
Mm-hmm.
instead of your Final Mouse. He kind of rotated between Final Mouse, some G-Wolves, HTS probably mouse, you
Yeah.
know, kind of pretty commonly used smaller, faster mice. And then we compiled the data, and turns out my hypothesis was that you're going to be more consistent, at least in CS, if you play with something like this. And it seems like the data proves it, but this is n equals 1. This isn't a statistically significant sample. But imagine if we had decided together that this is what we're trying to figure out this month. Like 500 of us decide to do this, you know. Obviously, we can't get QCK Plus and GPX for 500 people. That's an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
But there's smaller experiments that we can start with, sensitivity related, for example, that no one else can answer. Because some of these are technological issues. Because a lot of these game companies, if they cared, they could do part of it. But there's some technological issue where the user needs to be in the loop. For example, sensitivity is DPI.
Well, would it be helpful if the user was in the loop? Because if they, what's that one thing where like if the person knows they're being experimented on, they won't do the thing in the same way. I think that was a thing. I forgot if it is. I think it is, but whatever. I forgot the name. I mean, bro, like most FPS games can't even cobble together like a halfway decent anti-cheat, and now all of a sudden you want them to collect like even more data on the players than they already are. I mean, in an ideal world, I would like all of that, but the companies there would need to be some sort of financial incentive to do that, because unless there is, I don't think they will. All right, you only have probably less than a handful of FPS games that have like a halfway decent like anti-cheat, and even then, it's still like yeah.
Related, but there's no API in the operating system to get DPI because it's not a standardized thing. Which means that if you're a game developer, you can't ever know what DPI the user is playing at unless you ask them. And then you have issues where players might not know what DPI are.
Oh
So
yeah.
then no one can really do any type of connecting motion to.
And then even, bro, I have this one friend who, instead of changing the in-game sensitivity, he has like 4 or 5 sensitivities that he just switches on his mouse to make the mouse go faster or slower. Like that's how he goes faster or slower. He doesn't like change the in-game sense. So it's like, even with that, it's like, I mean, well, that's like a nice piece of data. Like, how many people like change their DPI versus changing the in-game sense? It's like, well, what's the right way? What's the wrong way? Right? So, I mean, that's just another data point of anything.
Game data. But if we as a community come together and decide that we want to do it, we can. So all of that to say, I have basically decided, you know what, I'm going to gather people that want to do this with me. I'm going to set up experiments that are time-based. I'm going to collect as much data, self-reported data, which obviously will have noise and some people will
Yeah.
mess the reporting up. It's natural, but there's ways to handle that in science. And I'll do this all publicly, and it needs to be free. So all the data collected will be public. The users will know that this is part of it. The scientific analysis will be peer-reviewed, public. I will do everything in public, probably post a video after every experiment, something like that. And hopefully we'll find some answers. This is a new concept. I've mentioned it in streaming before, maybe some of the videos, some of the comments I've responded to that ask some of the questions. I've basically answered that this is the way I think we could solve it. And to do so, I've opened up a Patreon. I kind of left this at the end of the video because I know that if you're here at this point, you probably have a higher chance statistically of caring for this. The Patreon is free. Basically, I wanted to figure out how do I collect personal information like emails or just people and do it legally. And I thought of putting it on my website, bardos.com, and then I realized I don't have a company. This isn't my job. I'm not making basically any money from any of my content creation. I still have a day job. So I'm going to do something that handles it for me. That's why I thought Patreon might be the way, because I saw Viscos is using a Patreon. We talked about it. So I created a new Patreon, bardos.com. Oh, that'd be interesting to put it on my website, but that's not where I want to go. Patreon.com/c/bardos, whatever. I'm sure I'll link it in the description. And I want to use that plus custom software that I want to write. That's what I wanted to get earlier, because I do have a Master of Science in Computer Science. I'm a programmer with a lot of experience, which is kind of making me feel heavier, but at least I'll be using it for something that I super care about, which is also something that AIM Labs allowed me to do. I won't be doing any boring coding. For example, I want to build a better mouse analyzer, ways to analyze your packets, DPI, hertz related, but I need people to do the data, the collection, to be subjects. And as long as it's free, we're all doing it together, and the data is all open, publicly available, because we all decide that it's okay for other people to use it. I'm sure we can look into licenses. I'm sure some people will help me more like actively in this. I think we can find the answers. I think we, the community, can like after all these years actually be like, you loud person are saying X. Well, actually we tested it, and for N percentage of people, it's not the best, or you're actually right, but there's this other caveat that we discovered as a community. I just think it's just super cool. Like if we can do it and run experiments like routinely. And I think in terms of statistical significance, it doesn't even take that many people for it to start being, a trend. If there's actually like signal in the data, you will see it. Trends are pretty easy to see, even with not too many humans. Obviously, we're going to have the issue of the selective bias that I mentioned before. We're all aim training focused people. Maybe, hopefully, this can go a little wider than just aim training focused people, and we can do it. But I'm just super excited. So I created a Patreon so that hopefully you can join in for free, obviously. And I'll use that as like the center, especially for the legal part of like having data from people. I don't know. I just feel like it's easier to do it there than on my personal website. And if you join it, you just keep up with the posts. I'm sure I'm gonna make tweets about this, more videos, and let's find the answers. I'm just so annoyed of all these loud
fakers, not the person, but fake aimers, fake aim guru people. Give me the real scientific answers, scientific backed answers, right? I mean, but is that really going to stop people from typing in chat like, oh, what sense, what mouse, what mouse pad, what monitor, what refresh, what this, what that, what this, what that? I mean, I don't think it's going to stop that, but I think it's a good step in the right direction, honestly. Like something like this, it's probably going to be like hard. Well, just because Bardos is like kind of an authority figure in the community, it's like everyone kind of trusts him to like do a good faith effort and whatnot. I would be a little more skeptical if I saw like Shroud doing something like this. I mean, yeah, he's like all right or whatever, but it's like he's like a figurehead that just happens to be good at aiming. Like the aim bro people, they're just like, I mean, especially with the passion that I see from Bartos, it's like there's more like passion that I see there. So
opinions that have absolutely no basis behind it. And you see them every day on Twitter. It's just not cool.
okay, so maybe my Twitter is like all messed up because I don't see those posts, or maybe I don't see them anymore. Um, like what are people saying? Like about some dumb aim stuff. Like, oh, the way of the win is the low sense. You only win on high sense, or like I don't know. He probably sees more of this than me because I just like don't pay attention to that shit anymore. I can kind of suss out like who's being the like good faith, even though if it's like just text or whatever. So,
but I think we can solve it. So if you're interested, I know this was probably a little too much rambling, but join the Patreon. I hope we get enough people that starts being interesting, and be ready, because if you game a lot, it's going to be annoying not to be able to change X thing if you're a Y type of player. But remember that you're doing it for science, and then you will find the answers that you're looking for, and I'm looking for, and we're all looking for. And I feel like that will be the best feeling ever. So hopefully this works. I'll see you guys. Ciao.
oh shit. Okay.
This power
Go back.
Ciao, YouTube.
Okay. That was pretty cool. I support me in crazy ideas. Subject yourself to annoying gaming sessions for science. It's free. Oh shit. I don't know. Maybe I'll see what's happening there. What's the vibes? Everybody. I mean, we got low grav in here. I love this idea. About time we start coming up with some more objective answers. If there's anything you may need from me, let me know. Cool. What was it? I fucking love you, Bartos. With all due respect, the scientific validity of information given to those trying to improve, for you, plus your passion for the subject, and for you and the hours and hours of research you've done to educate yourself in this regard. This is the cutest video I've ever seen. As much as I agree with the enthusiastic implementation of scientific structure within the FPS community, it's also so cute seeing someone more passionate, so passionate about computer games where you shoot other players with computer guns. Again, this is the minimalization of real life sports and people thinking that real life sports is like a more valid way of competition than a computer game. Let's be real, guys. Putting a rubber ball into a metal circle with a net under it is a child's game. All right, let's stop this, please. Make an entire video about the credibility of advice given to people that want to be better at shooting their computer guns. This is kind of like it feels like a backhanded compliment. I don't know. There have been like a ton of other like aim people that have like done the myth busting of like aim advice. Like these videos have already been made. Like, I mean, whatever. Maybe you should try to discuss this with Oblivity and Aim Labs managers or devs. Saw some experiments showing the Oblivity YouTube channel. I don't know. It's interesting, but I'm probably not the right audience for this kind of thing. Never been more excited to be a test subject. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea. I don't know, maybe go check it out or something. I'll figure it out. But yeah, a good video. I would hope that some conclusions are came to with a more like more objective reasoning is what he's going for, instead of just feels over reels type vibe. I support it 100%. And maybe this will be like the first Patreon I actually support in real life. But yeah, cool video. Massive dub, dude. Yeah. Other than that, good stuff. That's it for me. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.